2 years of classified development. Then, without warning, America's bomber fleet just doubled its next-generation capability overnight. But here's what defense analysts aren't saying. These aren't experimental toys gathering dust. They're combat-ready, built to full production standards. And if the situation demands it, they could be armed and operational within weeks. The countdown just accelerated. Initial capability isn't 2029 anymore. We're looking at 2026, maybe 2027. The question stopped being if. Now it's how soon. The game-changing September flight. That morning wasn't just another routine test. When the second Raider lifted off from Air Force Plant 42, everything changed. The first aircraft, designated T-1, had been flying solo since November 2023. Nearly 2 years of testing boundaries, learning capabilities, pushing limits. But one bomber can only accomplish so much. Now there are two, and that transforms the entire program. The second aircraft, T-2, headed straight to Edwards Air Force Base, same destination as the first. But this arrival meant exponential growth. With 2 bombers in the test program, the Air Force can now tackle missions impossible before, and one aircraft validates radar signatures while the other tests weapon systems with simultaneous operations and parallel development, and the kind of efficiency that eliminates years from traditional timelines. Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin didn't sugarcoat it, and he called this a cornerstone of strategic nuclear modernization. The concurrent testing and production approach screams urgency, and this isn't normal procedure. The Air Force knows what's at stake. Production built different. Here's what separates this from every previous program and the B-21 throughout the old playbook. Traditional aircraft development meant building prototypes first with bare-bones airframes, just proving concepts work, and then years later, you'd manufacture production models with actual combat systems, and that gap between prototype and operational aircraft sometimes a decade. The B-21 obliterated that model, and these test aircraft are built to production standards with real mission systems, real stealth coatings, and real weapons integration. And the only modifications needed for combat readiness are minor software updates and final systems checks. That's it. Northrop Grumman's facility at Plant 42 isn't experimenting, and they're manufacturing at scale. The company received its second low-rate initial production contract late 2024, and current reports suggest something unheard of in defense programs. Under budget and ahead of schedule. Read that twice. Under budget, ahead of schedule. How'd they pull it off? Digital engineering, and before placing a single rivet, before shaping the first panel, engineers built the entire aircraft virtually with thousands of simulations and millions of data points, and they identified problems before cutting metal, fixed issues before manufacturing parts, and the result was fewer surprises, fewer delays, and fewer cost overruns. The fleet grows. The Air Force currently operates 6 B-21s in various stages with 2 flying, T-1 and T-2, and 2 ground test articles. G-1 and G-2, and these airframes never leave the ground but remain critical for structural testing and systems integration, pushing components to failure so flying aircraft don't have to. And 2 more sit deep in production, expected to join the test fleet in 2026. That's 4 flying Raiders by next year and 4 aircraft conducting simultaneous test campaigns, and the capability multiplication isn't linear, it's exponential. Congress just allocated $4.5 billion in the reconciliation funding bill signed July 2025 and not spread over years, but available immediately for production acceleration, and the message from Capitol Hill couldn't scream louder. Build these bombers, build them fast, build them right. Fiscal year 2026. Budget adds another $10.3 billion to the program, with over $4 billion dedicated purely to scaling production. And Northrop Grumman's existing facilities can handle expansion without massive new factories, and just optimization with more workers, better processes, and increased output. Combat timeline collapses. Initial operational capability was originally pegged for 2029 as a safe bet and conservative timeline with room for delays. But recent Air Force leadership statements suggest something radically different. 2026 or 2027, possibly sooner if national security demands it. Those test aircraft flying right now aren't distant cousins of operational Raiders, and they're siblings, and close enough that rapid conversion is possible, and Air Force officials confirmed that if urgent operational necessity arose, test aircraft could be configured for combat missions quickly, and not in years, but in weeks or months. Think about that. And right now, today, America possesses two sixth-generation stealth bombers that could theoretically be armed and deployed if tensions exploded. And that's not hypothetical planning. That's real deterrence. Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota won the competition to become the first operational home and construction projects launched in fiscal 2026. And not planning, not studies, but actual construction with hangars, maintenance facilities, and training centers and the infrastructure for a B-21 squadron rising from South Dakota plains. Strategic impact. The B-21 delivers what the B-2 couldn't. Mass availability, and 20 operational B-2 Spirits served brilliantly through Desert Storm, Kosovo, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and Syria, and every major conflict since 1991, but 20 isn't enough anymore. And the world grew more dangerous with threats more sophisticated and adversaries more capable. When you possess 100 or more stealth bombers, you maintain continuous presence and rotate squadrons and conduct multiple missions simultaneously, and cover global theaters without exhausting the force. December 2022 estimates placed cost at approximately $700 million per aircraft, and the B-2 Spirit cost over $2 billion per plane, and the B-21 delivers superior capability for one-third the price, and digital engineering eliminated costly mistakes, and mature technology choices avoided developmental risks. September 11, 2025 proved America's next-generation bomber force is arriving faster than anyone predicted, with 2 aircraft flying and 4 more by next year, and initial operational capability within 2 years, and built on time, under budget, with capabilities adversaries can't match, and the shadow over Palmdale just became the future of American air power.